That's not a knife. That's a knife. Took the family down to the Sportsman show. It was so loud that I didn't record any video in there, but I took some pictures of the neat taxidermy and some of the other stuff that we saw in there. A lot of it's pretty cool. Some of it just really makes you shake your head. Like, I don't know what idiot engineer decided to put a giant RV windshield on the front of a camp trailer, but that's a terrible idea. And then we ended the night by fishing in the Lions Club pond out front. What's that rustling sound in the back?
Those are the fish in the bag.
What fish?
The fish that we caught.
Where'd we catch them?
In a pool with fish, with other people fishing.
At the... Where'd we go? At the Sportsman show.
The Sportsman show. First you have to try them, then you'll like them.
Talking about the fish?
Yeah.
Because Mama said what?
I don't like fish.
Have you ever had fish that I've cooked for you?
I'm sure.
No, you haven't. Because you won't let me cook fish. But guess what? Tomorrow, we're cooking fish.
Cool. For dinner.
Fresh fish for dinner.
Yeah!
Anybody else go to Walmart and always have a giant cart of stock in front of the items that you need? It happens to me every time I go. I don't get it. And Walmart's so ridiculously loud and has music blaring that I had to totally cut out all the audio from this portion because, you know, copyright and YouTube and all that fun stuff. PSA time, y'all. See the yellow bars? That is not grocery cart parking. That's the ADA defined zone to allow people with disabilities to make it into the store. It's not that far of a walk. We survived the store. That deserves a reward. Reese's Sticks. It's got to be better than a Kit Kat. I don't know if it's better than a Nutty Buddy though. It's close, but Nutty Buddies are bigger, so I'll give them the win.
Try the meal.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Alright, so first things first, we're going to wet down this. And then we're going to lay a towel down. And that towel is going to get wet from the board. We'll spray it a little bit more. And then when you put your cutting board on it, your cutting board isn't going to slide. Okay? It's going to stay right where you put it. Okay, now it's time to pull the fish out and start getting them filleted. Alright. First fish we got, look at this rainbow trout. It's got this kind of neat golden green streak across the top of it. That's kind of interesting. Alright, so we'll get it laid down. And one of the tricks with fish, sometimes they're a little slimy. You can spray them off with water. But really, if you just take a minute and wipe them down, get the slime coat off, they're not slippery anymore. They're a lot easier to handle. We'll be good to go. Alright, so we're gonna fire up our burner here. This is a Concord burner. It's like 80,000 BTUs, I think. It'll really burn some propane, but I've got a 35, 40 quart stock pot for doing crawfish boils, and I can I mean, it'll throw flames from here to California, but it only takes about 15 minutes for that 40 quart pot to come to a full rolling boil. So we'll get the skillet on there and fill it with oil. Alright, more sound editing for copyright restrictions. So here we are getting ready to add the fish to the breading. You want to dry your fish off pretty well. You don't really want any moisture on it. If you do, then it makes the breading clump up and it doesn't coat well, and then you end up with big clumps of just wet breading that looks like a piece of breaded fish, and it's a bad day. So once you get all your fish, or whatever it is that you're going to be breading, put it in your bag. The key is to twist your bag closed, but keep a big pocket of air in there. That way you've got room to move everything around, and the pieces of meat won't stick together, and it just makes it a whole lot easier, especially if you don't have one of the Tupperware breaders. I have one, but I wasn't going to bother getting it dirty just for this little bit of fish. We'll put that to the side and give our hush puppy mix another stir. You don't want it to rise too much, or else it kind of breaks apart and gets clumpy. But you mix it back down and it's all ready to go. Okay. Chips are just about done. The trick to making homemade potato chips, instead of slicing them or using a mandolin, just use your veggie peeler and peel off the real thin slices of potato. I mean, I went sideways, so these are long and skinny, but you can do them across the potato and they'll be more round and chip-like. Give them a quick sprinkle of stuff while they're still hot. Okay, now it's hush puppy time. Okay, we got fish ready to go in. We'll just do a few at a time and get them fried up and ready to eat. Alright, so we got hush puppies. We got some homemade potato chips, and cut up the fish into bite-sized pieces, fried everything up. If you like Chick-fil-A sauce, Walmart has this. It tastes exactly the same, and it's in a lot bigger than those little bitty cups they give you at the restaurant. Okay, kiddo, you ready to dig in?
Let's dig in.
If your batter's still a little bit too wet, they kind of puff out and get all crazy like that. Once it's dried up a little bit, they tend to hold their shape a little better when you drop them into the grease. Put paper towels down and then a cooling rack, but put it upside down. That way, when the food, it will sit on the rack and just barely kind of touch the paper towel. the paper towels will wick away the grease, but they won't be sitting in it. If you have the cooling rack right side up, they sit too high off the paper towel and they'll hold on to the grease. And then as the paper towel gets greasy and steamy from everything you're pulling out, it will steam your food, and then it kind of turns it soggy again. Okay, what do you think?
This is pretty good.
The Hush Puppy?
The hush puppies are pretty good. The fish are pretty good, and the honey chips are really good.
Yeah. The chips have Everglades cactus dust on them, and the fish has a little bit of my homemade Creole seasoning.
You should try this at home, guys. It's super fun.
You never had a Hush Puppy? They are so yummy. Focus. Nice and crunchy on the outside. Soft on the inside. A little bit of sweet, a little bit of onion. I heard House Autry went out of business. That's the brand of mix I got. And that somebody else bought them. It's a bit saltier than I remember, but they're still pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find southern food way out here in Idaho.
Guys, you have to try the fish and dip it in the Walmart Chick-fil-A sauce because it tastes like chicken nuggets. Seriously. That kind. Not the one with the little, not the little packets that they give you. That stuff.
And be careful, because this stuff is on the shelf right next to like a honey mustard something or other. That, I mean, it tastes like honey mustard. It's not this.
What is this called again?
Hush Puppy.
The Hush Puppies? The Hush Puppies are so yummy.
Well, you tell me. Does this go on the yummy list? Does it deserve a yummy dance?
Chips. This deserves on the list. This deserves on the list. This deserves on the list. And these two deserve on the list too. All these things, all three of them are going on the list.
So if they're on the list, then where's the happy dance? The tasty dance?
Sure, you. All these tips. That's the happy dance.